Celebi EX is a card that can be absolutely devastating in both good ways and bad. It is a card that has the potential to beat pretty much anything in the game, but also just as much potential to beat itself. Is this a deck that you want to play, and is there any way to mitigate its notable weaknesses? I'm Jed from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Celebi EX and my current favorite way to play it. Celebi EX is a basic grass Pokemon with 130 HP. It has the attack Powerful Bloom, where you flip a coin equal to the number of energy you have attached, and you do 50 damage for the amount of heads that you flip. You need at least 2 energy, so you get 2 coin flips, potentially hit 100 damage. But you can attach more energy, get more coin flips, and put yourself in a position to one-hit KO anything in the game, especially when you evolve Superior all the way up, because it has the Jungle Totem ability that doubles all grass energy in play. So we've got 2 energy on Celebi, and you get Superior out. That's now 4 energy, and that gives you way better odds of getting the one-hit KOs that you need. Now, it doesn't guarantee them. I have definitely rolled high and gotten 6 heads and did 300 damage. I've also gone 0-6, completely bricking and losing, and when that happens, that feels terrible. But these are the pros and cons of the core of Celebi with Superior. To augment your offense, or augment my offense with this deck, I love having the Executor line here. We've got a 1-2 line where we've got the Executor as a one-of, because we don't necessarily want to run a full 2-2 line. We only really need 1 Executor. And having 2 of the EX gives us a better shot at getting that Executor in play. But Executor is a really nice addition to the deck because it's got 160 HP. It's going to tank hits from pretty much everything in the game. Even Mewtwo can't one-shot an Executor unless they also play Giovanni on the same turn. And then its attack is so good. Tropical Swing for only 1 grass energy does 40 damage, and you flip a coin. If heads, you're doing 80. And you can get some early KOs with Executor, early one-hit KOs. You can soften up bigger multi-prize Pokemon while also tanking hits, and because it only requires 1 energy, you can swing across multiple turns with Executor while building up the Celebi in the background. From there, we have our usual suite of trainer cards, our XP to reduce retreat cost, Pokeball to get our basic Pokemon in play, Professor's Research to draw 2 cards, Sabrina to force our opponent to move their active Pokemon onto the bench and replace it with one of their bench Pokemon, and then Erica, which is a grass-specific tech, lets you heal 50 damage off of one of your grass Pokemon. This is amazing for helping you survive that little bit longer so that you can inflict even more damage on the following turn. I've seen some builds experiment with other things. You could try the other Executor from Mythical Island. I've seen Delmise in here. I've seen Chatot to help mix up your hand. Whatever way you go about it, this is still kind of the core of the deck. I really like the Executor as a potential wall / early game attacker, and the deck is a ton of fun. I still love playing the deck, even if it drives me nuts when it completely bricks sometimes, which unfortunately it does. You kind of have to accept that reality that over the long haul, you probably break even, but there are going to be times when you roll high and you just absolutely stomp your opponent, and other times where you just epically fail and bite the dust. But when it works, it's incredible. And if you're willing to ride that roller coaster, definitely give Celebi a try. Let's get to these matches. This time we are up against Articuno, and we have just the Snivy and a Superior. We have no attackers, but we have 2/3 of our energy acceleration, our energy doubler engine. I don't know if acceleration is the right term, because we're not necessarily, we are technically adding, we are doubling the energy that's already in play. We are not adding more energy per se. We top deck a Servine, and that's nice, but we don't have an attacker here. We are potentially 2 coin flips away from losing this game if Misty hits 2 heads. And if they have a Misty here, they attach 1 from hand, and then here comes the Misty. And let's wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, they brick. Oh. I think Misty is the most degenerate card in the game. I just don't like how it works and how game breaking it can be when it does work. We finally get an attacker down in the Celebi. We go and throw the Pokeball out to... We get a second Snivy just in case something happens. We've got the second one as a backup. And we've got our Servine. We're going to evolve up. And we will attach energy to Celebi and hard retreat the Servine because, again, if they've got Misty on this next turn and they hit one heads, then they attach from hand and then they blast the Servine and then we're back at square one. So keeping the Servine on the bench means that at worst they're doing 10 damage to our Servine and we get our energy doubler on the following turn. Sorry, I hope you don't hear the swinging too much. I will edit that out if it comes to it. Anyway, we hit our superior. Now we've got double the energy, and we've got 4 flips. And if we hit 3 out of 4 here, we are going to KO the Articuno in the active. So let's go and see what we can do here. And this is where Celebi wins or... So below average, 50. I have done worse. I've done better too. But that's what happens with Celebi sometimes. You just try and get as much energy as you can. We're in a pretty good shape, all things considered. They're not in position to one-hit KO us. Articuno maxes out at like 90, including Giovanni. So we will be able to tank a hit. We do have Erica to heal a little bit. Off the top of my head, is that going to be enough to move? Oh god, here comes the Gyarados. I should have pointed that out. They had the Magikarp on the previous turn, and they have the Eevee, so they can move the energy around. When Gyarados was first announced, they swing for Blizzard, and yes, we can get ourselves out of one-hit KO range of an Articuno by playing the Erica right now. But we do have a pivotal choice to make here after we heal up. Is do we start building up the second Celebi, or do we go all... Okay, we just go all in on the first one. And I think the logic there is that if I can knock out this Articuno, then it's going to be way harder to build up the Gyarados. And we get 4 out of 6 that time, and we take the KO on the Articuno. Now they have no energy on the board, so there's nothing to move to the Gyarados. They're going to have to hit Misty here in order to, stand a chance at this point, because right now we're flipping like crazy. Yeah, I was just checking to see how many Misties they had. They have 1 more. They could try and tank a hit with the Gyarados. That's probably their best tank at this point. Okay, that time I muted the mic so that you didn't have to hear anything. And they Sabrina to stall for time, which is fine. At this point, I probably just put the Snivy. They're not going to hit the Snivy at this point. And now we've got them in a pretty good spot, and we don't even have to go after the Gyarados, but it would be fun. It would be fun to try and knock one-hit KO the Gyarados. Celebi does have a decent time into Gyarados because you do have that one-hit KO power. A lot of decks don't have that one-hit KO power on Gyarados, and it's very tough, and that's why Gyarados is one of the best decks in the game right now. But we play Sabrina so that we can gust something weaker up, and now we only have to hit 3 heads instead of 4, and let's see how we flip here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the very last one. I mean, we kind of had 3 already, so we didn't need 4. We just hit 3, and we are good. So yeah, getting through a chunky Articuno there, and then unfortunately for our opponent, they were not in a position to get that second attacker rolling. And it might have been, I think there was a pivotal decision in the middle of that game of like, do we start powering up the second Celebi, or do we go all in to try and take this Articuno out? Because they could have played like an X-Speed, they could have had a Misty and then move that energy to Gyarados, at which point it would have been a way worse time. But that time, I think going in on the one Celebi proved beneficial for us. GG's. We are going second in this matchup, and I believe this is a Venusaur with Butterfree deck. And we've got a good start in the sense that we have our energy doubler here. The whole line, Snivy, Servine, and Serperia. We just need an attacker. And we could go either Celebi or Executor here. We get the Celebi. And at this juncture, probably just start to power up the Celebi and try and get ourselves to a point where we're reliably hitting one-hit KOs on our opponent's Pokemon. And at this point, yeah, it wasn't until here I realized, I thought just seeing the Caterpie that it might have been another Celebi deck, because Celebi decks are super popular right now. And seeing Venusaur, it's like, okay, maybe we'll see they'll have a superior line. I'm not sure that they do, though. Anyway, we play the Professor's Research, get 2 cards, get a Pokeball, and another Erica. And off the Pokeball, we hit an Execute. Now, we have Executor in hand, so that can work as a really nice starting attacker. And I'm debating on where to put the energy. I actually decide to go with the Executor here. And I don't necessarily agree with that in retrospect. Executor, you can just power up once you need it. You don't have to power up Executor preemptively. So I don't necessarily agree with that move. I would have put it on the Servine so you could hard retreat and then go into either attacker, because maybe we do need to go into the Celebi and swing for potentially 100 damage. I don't know. Anyway, they've got their Metapod up, and we've got an energy on the Venusaur, and now it's an Ivysaur. They evolved that up. And they get to use Find a Friend, grab a random grass Pokemon out of their deck, and we really should be pressuring here. And we hit the X speed, which is very nice. That means we get an extra. Now that's where we don't have. This is where it benefits, because now we've got the energy on the Executor ready to go. We can retreat for free. I wish I could say that I had preemptively planned that. I did not. And we hit the head, so we end up taking a big swing into this Caterpie, taking it down, and our opponent does not have room for that energy doubler, so they still need 3 more turns to get that Venusaur loaded up. Oh, okay, they're going for it. They're going for it. So they probably got the Venusaur in hand, because like the Venusaur is not swinging until 1 more turn, so they're willing to tank a hit here. Oh, they get the Butterfree. Okay. I mean, I guess they're willing to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, they assume my max is 80 and that I'm not going to retreat the Executor. And, they're right. I guess, maybe I burn X speed or I have a Leaf and I could have gone in, but doesn't matter. We're going to swing for 80. And yes, they can heal with that Butterfree a little bit, but still putting that much damage on the Ivysaur, even if they get to Venusaur and can start doing some big damage, we're going to be okay, I think. So 110. Okay, yeah, they're going to start swinging for 60, and then the following turn they can start healing. Now, where this gets kind of dicey is... Actually, no, we're kind of okay. Like, we don't have the Superior, unfortunately. Do throw down a second Celebi, potentially to tank a hit if they try and Serena us, or Sabrina us, and we end up healing the Executor here, so that we live for another turn. And yeah, I think the goal here is to attack as many times with Executor as we can. I mean, they're not one-hit KOing the Celebi anyway, but the Executor is tankier, and we can potentially keep it alive longer while still doing decent enough damage. Also helps us, gives us more time so that we can get a more guaranteed KO with the Celebi, or at least as guaranteed as we can make it. I've definitely gone 0-6 on coin flips before. I've also gone 8-2. I've gone 6-0. And I think that's going to be the biggest factor in Celebi's future and how well it's going to perform in tournament going forward. And so now we've got only 50 HP on our Executor, and playing the Erica on the Executor doesn't make any sense at this point, because we'll cap out at 100, and they're gonna one-hit KO us anyway, so we just take Tropical Swing, and we still land the heads for another 80 damage. And yes, they are going to heal a decent amount of that with the Butterfree on the bench, as well as Venusaur's attack that does 100 damage. But we are in much better position to finish off this Venusaur once Celebi comes in. Sorry, taking a swig of Neo Citron. I think I've nailed... Oh, well, it's Helios. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm recording something right now, but yeah, that chime was the follow. Someone followed me on Twitch. My setup is all hooked up to the same thing. So I've just got a new scene in OBS with the... Okay. Yeah, they heal a little bit. Anyway, yes. They swing. They take out the Executor. They're up 1 prize. We only have to hit 2 heads in order to take the KO. And we've got a good amount of energy on this Celebi right now. We are getting at least 5 kicks at the can, possibly 10 if we top deck a Superior. Okay, we top deck the Superior. This is fantastic. Actually, 6 kicks at the can because we can attach an energy here as well. And now it's time to go off. And let's see how well we roll here. Again, we only need to hit 2 for the KO. We've got the KO here. Now we're just seeing for fun how we roll. And we break and we form a little bit of a cross there. 300 damage for the win. Yeah, that was a really... it was a good match. I think Executor was very much an MVP there, being able to tank a couple of hits and get in some decent damage while giving Celebi the opportunity to build up energy in the back so that it can take that massive one-hit KO because, yeah, we know that Celebi can be temperamental and you want to give yourself as many coin flips as you can. And that time we went just about even. That was more than enough to get the job done, but the longer you can stall for time to get your Celebi built up, the better. GG's. Going first in this one, we're going to start with the egg, and then we'll put Snivy on the bench. And turn one going first. Execute is actually good here because turn 2, we can get a big attack in with the Executor if we bench the Executor. We're going to play Research first, then gauge our options here. We get a Celebi and an Erica. And here would be really nice to top deck an Executor so that we can start swinging. Otherwise, we're just building up the Celebi in the back. So right now, Moltres, bad turn. No opportunity to accelerate energy there. We get some energy on our Celebi, though. And I could bench the Snivy. I choose not to. Trying to give us some options here. But yeah, right now, dead hand. Our opponent gets a second Moltres down. And Moltres is, as an attacker, is definitely better in this match than in most because you are hitting for weakness. That being said, still not one-hit KOing a Celebi or an Executor. So we don't have to worry about that. They do get to one-hit KO the Superior, though. And that could be a problem. They get to attach 1 extra energy acceleration after using that coin flip attack. We get the Servine. That's nice, helping us build. And we've got our Superiors in hand. And now we decide to bench the Snivy. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea. And arguably... Oh, yeah, there you go. I was going to say, like, maybe not the best idea to go in with the Celebi because they can get the first hit in, which we really don't want. But we can let them attack the Snivy, take a prize, and we keep our setup here. So that I like. So we see it, finally the deck reveals itself. It's a Charizard deck. Not sure if they have the Arcanine. The Arcanine is horrible for Celebi. You can win, but Arcanine just gets set up so fast and hits you for weakness and just cuts through those Celebis like nothing. Charizard is a little more temperamental, and yeah, they need multiple steps to set up, and they hit perfectly. They've got a ton of energy on that Charizard. That's an absolute nightmare. And hopefully we can find a way to take that down before it builds up. The Moltreses we can deal with. The Charizard is basically GG's if they get Charizard set up at all. We now have our Superior in play. We now have double the energy, and we've got 6 coin flips with the Celebi. Let's go. And yeah, we just have to hit 3 in order to get this KO. We whiff on the first, but we hit 2, and then, okay, on the last one, we break even just enough to take that KO on the Moltres. And now they still need 2 turns. They have to go to Charmeleon, then have to go to Charizard, and we are in much better shape. What does concern me is that because of our current bench situation, I can't get a second Celebi up. And we could get cooked. We'll see. They put the second energy on the Moltres, and that makes a lot of sense there. Charizard's in pretty good shape. And they Sabrina us, and now we have to pick a Gust option. We're going to go with the Execute here. I think the choices are, it's got 1 retreat so that we can, retreat if need be. But also, if we top deck the Executor or an out to Executor, like a Research or something, we can start swinging on the... Yeah, they get a ton of energy on that Charmeleon. And we top deck, the Executor. This is what I was hoping for, right? You top deck the Executor. And we can start swinging while building up the Celebi in the background. Of course, we have to attach in hand in the immediate term, and we flip tails. So we bring down this Moltres down to 100. Still not two-shotting. We still have to two-shot this Moltres, and potentially more, right? If we hit tails 3 times, we will get 120. They get the Zard out, and now we're in trouble. Now we're in big trouble. So how do we... Oh, they're going in. They are going in. This is horrifying. So Zard's coming in. They're going to one-hit KO this Executor, no problem. 7 energy on hand, and they're healing up. Oh, okay, they're healing the Moltres here. So cutting through a Charizard, we have to hit 4 heads. And yeah, they blast that Executor like it's nothing. But our Celebi is here. We've got a lot of energy on it. Yeah, we've got 6 coin flips working with. And we top deck a Sabrina, so we don't even have to attack the Charizard directly. We can just go and force the Moltres in. At which point we only have to hit 3 out of 8. Can we do that? And again, there have been times I haven't been able to do that, and it's horrifying. We hit 1, 2, just 1 more. Yeah, okay, we'll take that. We'll take a 5-3. Yeah, swinging for a big 250 damage to win that game. I think that one came down to, and despite the fact that we get hit for weakness by Fire Dex, our opponent started a little slow, not being able to get that Charmander down fast enough, and by the time they had Zard ready to blast, it was kind of too late. We'd already softened them up enough that Celebi, and built up our Celebi so that it could one-hit KO. We probably could have one-hit KO'd Charizard as well, but we took the easier route and took out the Moltres. GG's. There we go. That is a look at Celebi EX. I think that the build with Executor is probably as stable as the deck is going to be at this point in time, but it is still prone to bricking, and not just in the not getting out the superior in time or what have you, but just Celebi flipping cold sometimes. And that's just the reality of this deck, and I do think that it ultimately is held back by the coin flippy nature of it. But man, when it works, it's so good, and it hasn't stopped me from playing it. Right now, it's my main deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket because I just love playing that and having opportunities to sweep my opponent early or take those massive KOs in the end. I just love it. And even if it's not the best deck, and yes, there will be times that it makes me want to rip my hair out, I love that roller coaster, and it's such a fun deck to play. If you've got the cards, definitely put it together to give it a shot. And if you don't, depending on like how far you are from building, maybe consider trying this one out. But for now, I gotta get going. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at InThirdPerson. You can find me on Twitch at InThirdPerson, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website, inthirdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So until the next one, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.